Very nice. So, these are nice. These are very nice.
Thanks.
The Monday class didn't get to do this.
Oh.
They'll do it next week. They went off in a state of shock. All right, this is good. This is very good. Okay, now, when you get into Richard Key's class, for example, he'll say, you're designing characters for Richard, and he'll say things like, well, that doesn't look like it'll fully animate, right? And if that's the problem, it's because you're not using that head that I put in red across the top. You're not designing a head that has those parts. If that's working fine, because believe me, Richard will find something to criticize you. He may say, it looks too much, your character looks too much like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, right? So here's what you do, because this is how I want you guys to start learning how to put together characters, because this is how character designers do it. That's why I'm asking you to do it. They do it, and they're the ones that are really good, right? So we do it the way they do it, and then you get really good. When you're designing characters, have two images in front of you. Have an image that is usually a movie star from some time period, so it could be from the 30s or the 40s, but an actor in their role have a photograph of it, right? So you're basing it on, for one thing, an actual person, okay? Then have a second picture that you're looking at, and that picture is of a character designer or a cartoonist that you want to learn something from, that you want to kind of pull information from. The rule of thumb is you get your facts from photography and you let artists teach you how to do things, okay? That's the rule of thumb. People who just copy photographs, what you discover is that their stuff looks increasingly like a photograph. That's great for your grandma. That's not going to work in the actual art field, because actual artists don't care about whether it looks like a photograph or not. They care about whether it looks like a design or not, right? And so always have an artist open that you can look at, and always have a photograph of a character, okay? Now, you're probably not aware of this, but a lot of the characters and things you see in feature animated films are people who are working around the studios, right? Yeah, they grab people, you know, or people they think are kind of, maybe their boss is a little funny looking, so he shows up as a character in the back of the film. Brant Mader, who's one of our models here, was the principal model for Tarzan. And if you draw Brant, and he still models, you see him around here. He's very tall. He's got long arms and legs.
Thanks.
Yeah. Now, once I mention it to you, people go, "Oh my God, he really does look like Tarzan, right?" And so he really looks like Tarzan. And he was, if you ask him, he'll go, "Well, they had a number of models, and they didn't say too much about it." And it's like, all you have to do is look at him. He's like 80% of it is clearly Brant. And then they gave the guy a longer chin, right? I mean, that's sort of what they did, right? So, and then what you do is you apply, you know, these kinds of noses, eyes, mouths, these kinds of expressions to it. You see what I'm talking about? So I'm going to keep having you do these, you know, 45-minute or 45-second drawings in the morning, right? So what I want you to do is keep bringing in the 300 heads. Just have them in the back of your pad so that you can keep studying them as you do it. And I'm going to keep giving you a small assignment usually, like take 10 of your 45-second drawings, and in addition to the other homework assignment, turn those into a character, right? Does everybody follow what I'm talking about? That's just practice. The idea there is I want to get your first 1,000 heads under your belt, right? I just want to get it under your belt. The first 300 that you do on your own, they're not going to be that great, right? Then they're going to start getting good, because what's going to happen is you're going to start, you know, remembering things, incorporating things, if you try to pull it right out of your head, there's not that much in there to pull out at the moment. There will be down the line, right? But, you're students. There's just not that much in there right now, right? Which means you have to look at outside people to put it in there. Master copies are great. All that stuff is great, okay? I'm also going to give you an assignment that'll be a head drawing assignment where I'm going to give you a list of expressions, and I'll say things like angry, fearful, sad, happy, sneaky, and I'm going to want you to draw faces which reflect, what I've just said, right? That reflects sneaky, okay? We're going to sort of do things like that as well. So, again, every character you ever draw is going to have a face, right? Every multi-figure composition you ever do is going to have figures with faces in it. What you're going to start noticing is that when you look at, a lot of the stuff that you see a lot of students doing at Art Center, or that you see people doing even outside of Art Center, all the characters have blank faces, or they will only do single characters in their composition. They'll never do double characters. Because once you start adding characters to the composition, that's when the rubber hits the road, right there. And that's why I showed you Rockwell today, right? He can do characters on their own. He can do characters in combination. He can do all these solutions. So you look at a guy like that and you just take him apart, right? One of the good things about Rockwell is that he's really dated, okay? Now, if you were to look at something that's contemporary, you're all caught up in how cool it is, right? But you're not thinking Rockwell's cool, right? You're thinking, he's some old dead guy, I don't want to look at Rockwell. But that's actually good. He is an old dead guy. It is really dated humor. All that stuff is really dated. But it means that you can see how it actually works. You see what I mean? When you look at things today, the wheels that make it work are concealed under the surface. If you look in the past, you can sort of see the wheels turning. You follow what does everybody sort of follow what I'm saying here? And that's what's happening with him. With these, what I want you guys to do is get used to the idea that you do a lead drawing underneath, final drawing on top, okay? And the loose, sloppy drawing underneath is soft and light. Soft and light, soft and light, soft and light, okay? When you did your long poses today, when I gave you the 2 10s, the drawings weren't as good as when you did the 5 5s, right? Okay? So just eliminate the worry time and go for it. When I give you 10, it just means you can have more time to go, right? Perfect. If I take that time away, you just do the drawing, okay? And then we're going to add the time back in, right? So I like to give you a longer pose so that you can kind of figure it out, right? Get it in your head. Then I cut the time in half. Then we start adding the time back gradually a little bit. It's because I don't want you just to be worrying. If it's a 5-minute drawing with 15 minutes worth of worrying, it's a shitty 5-minute drawing, right? You see what I'm saying? So let's not go that route. So this is good. For next week, these are really nice. Down here, these down here are nice. The other thing I want you to see is take a look at, say, move out of the way there, okay? Take a look at some of these here. Like, these are really beautifully drawn. So are these. These project up. These are easier to see. So I'm going to notice these first. I'm going to notice these first because this is all done in one value. This is done with a soft line quality underneath. Also, it has line and mask. You see how, if I look at this page, that elephant sticks out? That's because it has that flat graphic shape inside its mouth. See how Baloo's, that one drawing of Baloo where his nose is darkest, stands out? That's because you need light, medium, and dark. If you get light, medium, and dark in there, then everything works. Here, the breakdown of the characters is just as nice, but because there isn't the same light, medium, and dark, this doesn't have the same graphic power that has. You see what I'm talking about? So if we come here, these characterizations are really nice, right? but it doesn't have the same graphic power, say, as Stitch there. Okay? This here is somewhere in between. This is more powerful because the lines are darker than this, but it's not as powerful as this because this has thin, medium, and thick lines. You see what I'm saying? Does everybody follow? So I want you to just take a look when you look at the floor. Look at what drawings really project off the floor. It's the ones that have flat areas that are dark. See? The ones that have darker lines that come up. And the most powerful are going to be the ones that have light, medium, and dark lines plus flat areas of mass. Okay? Those are going to be the most powerful of all. That's what you want, right? That's what you want. You want me to come in the room, see the drawing from a distance, say, oh my God, I have to go take a look at that. Then I walk over and I get a second read. My first read is I walk in the room, I see it from a distance, you attract my eye. That's how this works. This is working pretty well. Down there I can see the noses on the dogs are working pretty well. Up here, you know, the ones that have the darker shapes or the darker eyebrows pop up more, okay? And you can see it as you go through. On the pages, you'll see some of them have more dark shapes than others, and those are the shapes that are going to pop right up, okay? So, your drawing has to have light, medium, and dark shapes, and it has to have mass, okay? Also thin, medium, and thick lines. And we're going to work on that from now until the end of the term. Okay? And that'll do it. For next week, I said 15. Try to do 20. Right? Okay? If you do 20, it's going to take you less than an hour longer, but you've done a quarter, more work. And that's going to add up, right? Again, you're all going to be good at these heads. You're all going to be good at these heads because you're going to have done 1,000 heads by the time you get out of this class, right? Or at least you're 1,000 heads closer to being good, right? You're 1,000 heads closer than you were in the beginning, and that means that you're pretty close. So if you're not good at the end of the class, you're pretty close, okay? You're pretty close. And then some of you will already be there. Some of you will be on the verge of being there, right? So maybe you need another 500 heads. So what? Sit in next term and do the homework, right? Okay? All right. Okay, you guys. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. These look great.
It's a class in art.
Great job.
It's teaching human anatomy through Disney.
Of the facial expressions, I want you to refer to those. You can create new characters, but I want you to make new characters out of these parts. Right? Because these parts are specifically designed by